So VCAs, what the heck are they? And why does everybody always say you can never have too many VCAs? Well, a VCA right here is a voltage controlled amplifier. An amplifier will raise or lower a signal. In modular, the thing is, VCOs always are playing sound. So how the heck do you shape that sound? Well, with the VCA. With the VCA, I plug my sound source into the input, and it would be constantly playing, right? Well, I lower that signal, and now I'm going to send a modulation or an envelope to the CV input of the VCA. And what that means is that control voltage is going to turn this knob for me and shape the sound. If you look over here on the right at data, you can see my sound source up top. And below, I'm going to be sending an envelope to the CV, and it's going to turn that knob for me. You can see how it literally shapes the sound exactly what the envelope looks like. Simple as that. Now, with a VCA, it doesn't have to be an audio source. You can attenuate or lower any signal with this knob. So for example, if I take a LFO, put it into my input, you can see the LFO, right? Now, I can attenuate that signal, or can turn it back up. Now, the cool part about that is I can now modulate my modulation. There's my LFO going. Now let's send another LFO into the CV input. What happens? Well, it modulates it. So this is why people tell you you can never have too many VCAs. You're able to add movement and just different signals to your patches. So if you want to do things like ambient or self-generating patches, stuff like that, you can modulate modulation over and over again. So if you have, 10 VCAs, you can modulate some other modulation source and then send it to another modulation source, and you can keep it going. So you can dynamically change your sound or your patches over time. So here's Koma Elektronik's dual discrete VCA. So this VCA in particular has little audio bleed or noise, and it can have some distortion if you want it to by turning that gain knob. You can also mess with linear and exponential response curves, which is going to change the dynamics of your sound. And like I said before, you can play with this gain knob right here, and that's going to give you the ability to add some saturation and distortion to your sound. It also can be a 4-channel mixer because you have 4 different inputs, and output A is normal to output B. The CV input on these modules really only accepts 0 to 5 volts, so you have an attenuator right there on the bottom. And what you can do is whatever envelope or CV input that you're putting in, you can attenuate that signal to 0 to 5 volts. This VCA is primarily used for audio sources, so it's only AC coupled for the inputs, but the CV inputs are DC coupled, so they will accept audio rate modulation and other types of modulation. It's a very quality module, very nice knobs, put together really nicely, and I just love the look of this white and black. So let's talk about a few things that we can do with VCAs. One really cool trick I like to do with VCAs is add some grit and distortion to my drums. If you play guitar or any other instrument and you have an amplifier, you know that when you turn up the gain, you add some grit and distortion to your sound. With the dual discrete VCA by Koma Elektronik, it adds a really nice warmth and good distortion to your sound. So really, it's also a distortion module as well as a VCA. I have my BIA going straight to my mixer, and it's malted. There's the normal channel, just straight to the mixer. And then I also have one going through the VCA, and I'm going to turn up the gain, and you're going to hear the difference. cool, huh?